43. Stafford versus Cup. It's high and it's intercepted. Off the deflection, it's one of those safeties. Jordan Poyer with the pick.
Stopped him here tonight.
3rd and 4. Allen stepping up and now floating it downfield, and Diggs is behind the secondary. Stumbles, but brings it in. Buffalo touchdown.
Oh, shit. This is interesting to see. Your daily sports podcast, news, narratives, takes, gambling. We are back. Man, mine and your NFL are back, y'all. We out here. The National Football League is super duper back, and the Buffalo Bills, holy crap, do they look good. There we go. Now the volume better? Damn. Hold on. Wait, doing this on the fly. There it is. Buffalo wins. They beat the Los Angeles Rams of Los Angeles. Josh Allen right there on the home run pass to Stephon Diggs, rolling to his right, going over the top of Jalen Ramsay, the best defensive back in the NFL. I'd like to read you a quote from 2018 between Josh Allen's rookie year and Josh Allen's not rookie year. Quote from Gentleman's Quarterly, I think Buffalo Bills draft pick Josh Allen is trash. I don't care what nobody's saying. He's trash. And it's going to show, too. That's a stupid draft pick to me. We play them this year, and I'm excited as hell. I hope he's their starting quarterback. He played at Wyoming. Every time they played a big school, like they played Iowa State, not true, which is not a big school in my opinion because I went to Florida State, who sucks, and he threw 5 interceptions. And they lost by a couple touchdowns or something like that. He never beat a big school. If you look at his games against big schools, he's always hella interceptions, hella turnovers. It's like, yo, if you're this good, why couldn't you do better? He fits the mold. He's big, tall quarterback, big arm, supposedly. I don't see it, personally. Jalen Ramsay, here, I'll pull up the video if you want to watch. Let's mute it so I don't get DCMA'd. Here is Josh Allen. That's Josh Allen right there. Big arm, supposedly. I don't see it. And then here he is. He's throwing. And that right there, this little yellow blur, right there, that's Jalen Ramsay. And that's Stephon Diggs. So what happened, the internet thinks, is that either Jalen Ramsay was confused and thought he would have help over the top, or Jalen Ramsay was covering him really hard, right around the 20 and the 30, and then he was like, Josh not going to throw that ball. There was a clip making the rounds on the internet that I didn't find. I heard about it where Josh Allen on a run landed on top of Jalen Ramsay and like let his groin linger on his face mask and then made fun of him for it. And then right here, this is the best part of this. Let's watch Stephon Diggs. He's like, yo, you, that's you, right? You can't cover me. Look at him. Look at that shit. Jalen Ramsay. So what happened with Jalen Ramsay in the 2018 interview was that GQ hangs out with these guys and just gets this shit, but they don't tell him that it's on the record, which is dirty. You do those photo shoots. Yeah. So he said that about Josh Allen, and Josh was playing like that had happened. And I think they played in 2018, 2019. I don't know what happened, but I do know that I don't just think Josh Allen's the guy that got to let that kind of thing go. So he dunks all over Jalen Ramsay, and I don't know what the official stats were for what happened when Jalen Ramsay was targeted, but I do know there were at least 3 big catches by Stephon Diggs, that one being the biggest. If we look at the stats, Stephon Diggs, 8 catches, 122 yards for a touchdown. Fucking yikes, bro. On the other side of the football, Matthew Stafford looks like fucking shit. Holy shit. So he's had this elbow thing, and Sean McVay in June said something along the lines of, it's pretty abnormal for a quarterback to have this problem. And now they've found out that it's kind of like a baseball-ish injury, and when baseball players have elbow things, they need Tommy John surgery. Stafford, of course, kind of throws like a shortstop. His motion looked weird. The entire internet was like, man, your throwing motion looks fucking weird, man. I don't know what's going on. The other thing is that the Rams, they got this receiver, Allen Robinson, who is an elite receiver, or was. Who knows? Can't even tell if he's washed. But he's been playing with bad quarterbacks for years. Like, man, it's finally going to happen for him. Well, the big narrative that came out of this, for me, on top of Josh Allen dunking, literally teabagging Jalen Ramsay, is that the Rams' offensive line is a joke. / the Bills' defensive front is insane. Pretty sure the Bills didn't send a blitz until the fourth quarter when they knew that the Rams had to pass. They had 6.5 sacks, 6.5, and they got it with 4 guys. This big guy, Jordan Phillips, like 290 pounds, put a spin move on a guard. And by the way, Von Miller, I think he's like 35 years old now. In fact, he was in the Cam Newton draft, which was 2011. That's 11 years ago, which would put him, right at 32, 30, somewhere in there. I think he had an Achilles thing a couple years ago. Of course, he came back healthy and helped the Rams win a Super Bowl, played huge down the stretch. He looks literally better than he's ever looked. He had a dipsy doodle in this game where it was like he was running a route. I mean, people were like never seen anything like it. I'm going to pull it up here for you. Look at him. Watch him just shake this tackle. Just, can't touch me. He got chipped by the tight end, and he just shakes this fucking tackle and just like gets the sack. He looked unstoppable. And the Rams, that left tackle, I don't know, his name is Pippen or something. I don't know. Who cares? It doesn't matter. But it's not Andrew Whitworth, the Hall of Famer and the guy that won the Walter Payton Man of the Year. He retired, and nobody talked about that in the offseason. But this Rams offensive line is a joke. And Stafford, 3 picks, 41 attempts, 240 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. Josh Allen had 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. One of those interceptions was not his fault. One of them was kind of his fault, not on the same page. He did go over rushing yards. And I got to tell you, Chris Collinsworth did a really great job being like, what the fuck are you doing? You do that once or twice, and if you scramble, and you do it safely. But he just keeps taking hits. And then they were calling these like zone read quarterback run things. You're like, buddy, Buffalo, if he twists an ankle the wrong way and misses 6 games, your season's over. And like, it ain't. This is the year. So like, what are you doing? He did go over, and he led the team in rushing. But like that, let's hope that was just a want to dunk on Jalen Ramsay kind of thing, and not like a thing that they're going to do, because cannot do that. 26 completions out of 31 attempts, 2 interceptions. He had 3 incompletions. And both of those interceptions could have been caught one of those interceptions should have been caught and was absolutely the fault of his receiver, which would have made him 27. He was nearly perfect. Insane game from Josh Allen. The Bills are good. Okay, it's Football Friday. Is there any other news to talk about? Kind of, not really. I'm not going to do it. So let's just enjoy our Football Friday. We've got some narratives to discuss. I've got some bets for you. The first narrative to discuss is that Washington earlier this week announced that they're going to have a dog called Mondo. And this is just a clear and shameless attempt by the Washington football team. I'm putting this thing on my eye to make myself feel better. Mondo or Mando, I don't really know. Maybe it's Mando. It's Commando. Mondo would be cooler. Mando is a clear attempt by the Washington Commanders to remind us that Dan Snyder is in international waters. It's a distraction. I hope Mando shits on his shoes. But it's a good boy. The good boy will become a service dog. He is in training to become a service dog for a military veteran. Shameless shit from Washington. That's a really great cause, and all good boys go to heaven. Shameless. Douchebags. Okay. Yeah, I just thought I would want to put that in there. The Bears have unveiled their first renderings for the plans to build a stadium in Arlington Park, Illinois, which is basically like in Wisconsin or Iowa, or like way out in the burbs. It will not have a retractable roof. This is objectively the best thing that could possibly happen for the Bears. They have some of the cheapest owners in professional sports, like right up there with the Bengals. They're one of these families that don't own other businesses. The Phillips family. Is it Phillips? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Who cares? Owners are dumb. The owners don't have other businesses, so the Bears are their only revenue stream. So they don't really have just like cash on hand. Like they're like, and it's obviously a great business, but they don't just like have all of this expendable income from a bunch of other business ventures. Part of the problem is that Soldier Field in Chicago is open air, and it's in a great location right in downtown Chicago. It's really cool by the lake, but Chicago's fucking cold. And all of the rich people that do things like go to concerts, they live out in the burbs. So to build this enormous indoor stadium in Chicago, it would make the Bears stuff not as cool or historic, but the Phillips people being able to make a bunch of money is going to be a complete game changer for the Chicago Bears. Like, this matters so much because they just don't have the money, which is weird that they own the team in Chicago, but I guess that's how it goes. Oh, yeah, fun fact from last night, the Bills didn't punt. In their last 6 NFL games, in 4 of them, they didn't punt. Yeah, Josh Allen is really fucking good. Okay, so let's move on to week 1. There is a streak active right now in the National Football League that is astounding, that I'm so excited for, and it is part of my best bets. The Cleveland Browns have not won week 1 in the NFL in 17 consecutive years. It is 2022. And they've been good. They went to the playoffs. I think they had a tie in a week one recently. They went to the playoffs. 17 years. There are two other streaks. The Eagles and Washington both lost 9 consecutive opening day games in the 60s and the 70s. 17 straight opening days without a win. This year they are on the road. And it's part of our revenge game narrative. There are a couple revenge games that are fun. And we should bet all of them because it's going to be great. Okay. Narrative preview, NFL preview. Let's do it. The two revenge games that are the most interesting are the Carolina Panthers hosting the Cleveland Browns. Why does it matter? Baker Mayfield, the former first overall draft pick of the Cleveland Browns, and the guy that got pushed out for Deshaun Rapist Watson, is now the quarterback of the Carolina Panthers. The Browns are there on the road. They are favored by 1.5 against Carolina. People think Carolina is a shit show. It kind of is. But they do have some good players in the trenches on defense. They got some weapons. They have a wide receiver, everybody. Like, if you want to sound really smart about football. So, DJ Moore with the Panthers, he's just underrated. Just say that to somebody and be like, you're right. He is underrated. People forget about DJ Moore. They do. It's because he went to Maryland and he plays for Carolina. So that's revenge game number 1. And Baker Mayfield with a chip on his shoulder is just a better, more enjoyable thing. Revenge game number 2. On Sunday, in the year of our Lord. That's right. On Monday night in the year of our Lord, the Denver Broncos are heading to the Seattle Seahawks, where Seattle pushed out Russell Wilson in favor of a 75-year-old fucking man who wants to run the ball. Jesus. They chose the coach over the quarterback. Stupid. So now he's playing for Denver, which is just objectively has a better team. And they're on the road in Seattle, where the Seattle Seahawks fans don't like Russ. Russ is a nerd and a tool, and hanging out with him it sounds like an awful time. Mr. Unlimited. But the Broncos are going to kill the Seahawks. Let's put that on the best bets. All right. So those are the revenge game narratives. Other narratives to pay attention to. I think the Raiders might go into L.A. and beat the Chargers. And at that point, what point are we going to be like, Brandon Staley, man, what you doing? So Raiders-Chargers is a really good game. Other interesting games. Saints-Falcons. Everybody thinks the Saints are one of the most widely disagreed upon teams in the NFL. A lot of people are like sort of slotting them in like, hey, they don't suck. As long as Jameis doesn't suck, but everybody's left. Like Sean Payton is gone. Aaron Glenn and Dan Campbell are in Detroit. Drew Brees is gone. They have a great defense and whatever, but like the Saints are a fun team to pay attention to. The Eagles and the Lions is going to be trench porn for all of like the section of football Twitter that loves offensive and defensive line play. There are some young players, there's some elite players, there's some old players, there's some Hall of Famers. It's going to be offensive line porn. Detroit might be missing 1 or 2 offensive linemen, which would be a bummer, but just there's the humanity in the trenches in Detroit versus Philly is going to be exciting. The Eagles blasted the Lions last year. Both teams got a lot better. I think the Eagles, that's going to be one of my best bets. We'll talk about that in a second. As far as other narratives go, we have the Doug Peterson. The Jacksonville Jaguars are going to Washington to play the Commanders, and it's Doug Peterson facing off against Carson Wentz for the first time. That'll be fun for all of us. Some really shitty games on the schedule, too. Like, we've got the Giants and the Titans. Who cares? Like, Patriots and Dolphins, they open up against each other. The Dolphins in Miami in September. God, kill me. Oh, Jesus. I do think the Colts are going to suck. They're on the road against Houston. Houston are 7.5-point underdogs. Let's add that to the best bets. Okay, let's go to the gambling thing. Let's see what I think is going to happen. And then maybe we'll get out of here with some college football previews. There's a garbage week 2 in college football. That's always how it happens now. Week 1, amazing. Week 2, everyone's like, yeah, I'm a little hungover. Okay, so Carolina to win the game. They are 1.5-point underdogs at home. Baker Mayfield's got a chip on his shoulder. They're playing Jacoby Brissett, and they have good players. Love that. The San Francisco 49ers to beat the Bears by 6.5. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. San Francisco good, Chicago bad. Very simple. The game that everyone's super excited about, the Fox game of the week, America's game of the week. Minnesota is hosting Green Bay, and Minnesota has been an offseason darling as of about August, when this happens every year. Around August, everyone remembers that Minnesota exists. And they're like, damn, they're not going to be that bad. People think that they're going to could possibly win the division. Most people think they're definitely going to make the playoffs. They have Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen on offense, along with Dalvin Cook and a slightly improved offensive line. The Packers defense is filthy. They also have Aaron Rodgers, but no offensive weapons. I love that. So best bets, I've got a couple. Panthers money line, Niners to cover the spread, Vikings money line, Eagles to cover the spread against the Lions. They beat the Lions by 34 last year, and the Eagles got a lot better. The Lions got better, but the Eagles got better too. I also like in that game Jared Goff over passing yards. Nobody's running against Jordan Davis and Fletcher Cox, and the Lions are going to do a lot of checking down and things. I think they're going to do a lot of like run game where they just throw the ball. You know what I mean? Like those little short passes that are basically just handoffs. So I love Jared Goff over the Broncos and the Texans. So Broncos cover the spread, Texans cover the spread, Jared Goff over, Eagles cover the spread, Vikings cover the spread, Niners cover the spread, Panthers win the game. I love all of that. There's some other props here that are kind of interesting. Trey Lance over. Watching what's going on in San Francisco, they're like, yeah, you're our quarterback for sure. You're definitely our quarterback. Well, we're going to bring the other guy back just in case. Like, just in case something bad happens. And like, oh, he's just a backup. Fucking no. No, he is not. No way, sir. College football this weekend. South Carolina's at Arkansas. That one could be kind of interesting. Wake Forest or Vanderbilt. Apparently Wake is good. That'll be fun for everybody. But Vanderbilt draws 63 on Hawaii, which is important to note because that's who Michigan is challenging themselves with this week. Thank God. Thank God Michigan is challenging themselves. The SEC is where the action is this weekend. Tennessee and Pitt played a home and home last year. Kenny Pickett beat Tennessee by, I think, a touchdown or two. There are only two ranked-on-ranked matchups this week. Tennessee and Pittsburgh is one of them. The other one is Kentucky and Florida. Florida, after accidentally beating Utah at home last week in the humidity, they're hosting Kentucky. Prime spot for a letdown. I think Kentucky is going to obliterate Florida. If your team needs a quarterback in the NFL, that's the game to watch. The two guys that will go in the top 5, 2 of the top 4 prospects, and they are good. Will Levis and Anthony Richardson will be the guys to watch in that one. Other than that, Baylor and BYU, I guess people care. It's a future Big 12 matchup if the Big 12 still exists. Just an overall kind of a shitty weekend in college football. But, alas, that's fine with me. It's a good time to get the NFL kicked off. That's going to do it for Interesting to See. Like, rate, review, subscribe, YouTube, etc., etc. Man, first Football Friday feels good. Seriously, though, the Niners and the Eagles are going to cover. They're going to cover. I feel, yeah, they're going to cover.